Hey everybody, this is Dr. J and Spike, streaming live from London.
Hello.
Spike, are you really there or what?
I am here in spirit.
Are you all there or?
I try to be present.
So how was the beach today?
The beach it was very overcast, but it was comfortable because there was a nice breeze coming off the ocean.
Yeah, I went in the morning to Lido and it was pretty okay. Little,
Yeah, I mean,
little too windy for me, but
right. But the wind is like natural air conditioning.
yeah.
So I took advantage.
I slept in the afternoon because that's what Parkinson's does to you.
It, you have to take your moments.
Yeah, exactly. It's very pill related. You know, everything's planned around when you take your pill.
I see.
So what's going on, Mantis? We haven't seen the Mantis in a long time. And Novus is bringing him out.
Oh yeah, he the one who actually kept me in a novice when I was starting to panic.
Oh, really? That's good.
Yeah, because even during the bad news, he was very optimistic.
Yeah. Well, we didn't win we won the war, but we didn't win the battle.
Yeah, what happened today? It sort of was up for a little while, and now it went down below 15.
Wait a second. I sound like Biden. I said it exactly backwards. We won the battle, but we didn't win the war.
So, I'm hoping there's still good news to be had, even though there's a little fluctuation.
Well, the good news would be that the FDA says we'll take an NDA, we'll approve your NDA as is without further trials.
Right. There's that whole business about a certain subgroup actually did do very, very well.
Well, the subgroup includes me. It's people that have it 3 or more years.
Right. So good. I hope people like you are clamoring for this thing, just like they clamored for Biogen.
Believe me, I am clamoring for it. I'll take anything that gives you a little hope.
Right. And it looked like Sava looked like it was taking a little bit of a rebound.
Sava, simufilm, whatever it's called, I think it really works. Everything else is bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Subgroup is trick to play for excluding fake patients. Huh?
I don't get that.
I don't get it either. No comprendo.
Yeah, maybe Mantis could be a little bit more elaborate on the next.
I didn't get anything about excluding fake patients. Did you?
I didn't know there were fake patients.
The CEO, Maria, whatever her name is, nobody can say it. Not even her. She's got one of those last names. She's very upbeat about the data, but clearly has done some cherry picking. Now that may be okay because cherry picking sounds bad, but sometimes it's not as bad as it sounds.
No, I mean for cancer, they just create subgroups, like you said, so that certain subgroups actually can get cured.
Right.
Being able to distinguish certain parts of the population is actually a good thing.
But they may require a new study, a more longer study with the new inclusion criteria.
I see.
Being that it's only for people with 3 years or whatever they are.
But wouldn't that rule out some potential beneficiaries in the pursuit of money?
Let's see what more Mantis says.
Okay.
In his opinion, the drug is even more powerful and it shows results in LTT population. I'm not sure what that is.
Long term. LT.
Yeah, long-term population. That's me, I guess. She's
so what did it close at?
Can you tell character from talking from not talking from people, but from a YouTube video or something.
Can you tell character?
Yeah, he's assessing her character as being kind and honest.
Being on the spectrum, I can't do that at all. I can't even do that to people in person.
I can't do that too well either. I mean, I like to have a kind and honest CEO. That makes me feel good.
Yeah, but I guess you don't really become CEO by being too forthright.
Well, apparently she made a lot of money with the sale of a previous company and put a lot of money into this company.
Oh, okay.
And from what I've read, she's never sold any shares. So,
Okay.
Innovus in phase 2-3, Alzheimer's disease faced a lot of fake Alzheimer's patients.
That was the issue. The Alzheimer's definitely is definitely probably needs to have a new study.
Oh, okay, so maybe he's talking about the AD study, not the Parkinson's study. There were 2 studies that were recently completed, both good.
Right.
And the FDA, they have a meeting in September, another meeting in October. I think one about Parkinson's, the other about Alzheimer's.
Okay.
It's a lot of money to do a long phase 3 study with 1,000 people or something like that.
Well, I guess then Pfizer would have to buy them.
Yeah, I think she couldn't afford to do it unless it's maybe partnership. I don't think diluting would give her enough money.
No, it should have to be bought out by somebody who had promise, and Lilly's already got whatever they need.
Lilly
Right.
is an inferior drug. It's just like the Biogen drug.
Understood, but
You got the bleeding and the swelling.
and the swelling, right?
It's better than nothing, I guess. So now let's see what he's saying about Parkinson's. So they knew this same thing in Parkinson's, and 3+ years excludes those with fresh fake diagnosis.
Oh, okay. That's I'm gonna say that's an allegation or speculation on
a
Mantis' part.
speculation that people that didn't have Parkinson's said they did.
Right.
I guess to undermine.
I mean, sometimes, especially, I guess, it's very easy to misdiagnose Alzheimer's when it's early.
Well,
For
let's
just general degradation.
it's also hard to diagnose Parkinson's.
What against a normal tremor?
Against essential tremor, and it's not always tremor that presents itself. Could be
Really?
other things. I suspected I had it when I had just a slight tremor right here, and I under the collarbone, right of the shoulder, wherever it is.
Uh,
I had a slight tremor at times, and I felt like my shoulder was hanging wrong. So I went to a orthopedist. He says, "No, I know Parkinson's."
right.
I should have gone to a neurologist.
Well, if somebody's giving you good news, you stay with them.
Yeah, I think this study offers a little hope. Buntain tap is way more powerful in full sample with true patients. They will enroll patients with more tests and brain scans than you will see. Oh, I don't want the brain scans. They're a pain in the ass.
Uh, for a cure, Dr. J, I think you'll do it. You'll suck it up.
I'll have to anesthetize myself, to
Gotcha.
hypnotize myself or something. I don't like them at all. They're claustrophobic.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I those MRIs are definitely tough to do.
Yeah.
It's like somebody puts a garbage can over your head and starts banging it.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I get it. It actually, the last one I took gave me claustrophobia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was that traumatic.
Uh,
So yeah, I understand your trepidation.
what else is Mantis got a lot to say, because Florida sites tend to enroll non-true fresh diagnosis patients for money. It's
Yeah.
an issue in BIVI private companies, Alzheimer's disease, and anvs Alzheimer's studies. All right, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't
it
realize.
doesn't shock me that Florida overdiagnoses Alzheimer's.
Yeah, but
That's that's
that,
how the doctors done. They make their money.
well, in some cases, the patients are paid to participate, right?
Really?
In some trials, patients are paid to participate.
Okay.
Apparently,
Again, that makes,
I know it's had a lot of sites in Florida.
I see.
There was one right here in Long Island. I didn't follow up with it. I had a phone call in. I had an appointment, but my neurologist didn't wasn't excited about it.
Gotcha.
Well, I got my money on it. In at the very least, if it does well, makes some money.
Yeah. No, I'm still in it from the '70s when the back in the day when it went above 100 for a little while.
You averaged down, didn't you?
I did average down, yes.
Oh
But
goodness.
I mean, but those shares at 70 still have their weight.
We rode it up to over 100.
Yeah, no, we did it. We did nicely with that for a little while, a
Yeah,
couple of years ago.
yeah,
So what else have you been looking at? Have you been looking at the S&P?
yeah. I look. I'm figuring the S&P. I'm holding to my 560 target. I think what I'll probably do is one of two things: either sell 10% of everything, or buy some maybe 535 October puts. And if it doesn't go down, continues to go up, it'll be a mere blip in my gains for the year.
Yeah, all right. Going up, you'll still be in it. You
Yeah,
just won't be. You just won't be in it as deep.
it's just insurance.
Gotcha.
I would pay something like 10% of my gains for the year, I figure. I
And
have,
should I be afraid? Should I be afraid that you and Professor Omar are starting to agree with each other?
I never doubted Professor Omer, but he's playing a chicken. He's limiting his gain. He bought the 535s for October, but he wrote the puts for what did he buy? What did he write the puts for? 540, right? So it's
I
only
wasn't looking.
his return is at most 5 points. If
Oh,
it's
he
over,
collared it. He collared it. He collared it on both ends.
it's not a collar, it's whatever it's called. Credit spread. I don't know what it's
Oh,
called.
it's spread. Okay.
I don't know what they call it, but it's called limiting your gain, and
Gotcha.
and also limiting your cost.
All
Right?
right. That's consistent with his character.
Yeah. So maybe if it costs him $2 for each pair, he can make three, something like that. Because they're paying you money on the 540, and you got to pay money on the 535. So your total cost for the pair is not that much.
So now, what will be the catalyst for a downturn? I mean, because Powell's
Well,
testimony was pretty good.
it's a number that I called from way back when we broke the 480 high on the S&P. That's a number that I said the range is going to be, it's going to go straight up pretty much. My thinking was straight up pretty much until 545 plus or minus 15. So that's my 560. That would be this 1.618 extension.
Uh-huh.
You heard of that 1.618?
Yeah, it's one of the Fibonacci numbers.
It's one of the Fibonacci. It is the golden ratio.
It certainly is.
Yeah. And if it's amazing how often it's right. And this is another example, postural instability patients who returned 8 to 10 years decline in 6 months. Can you believe it? I don't know if I do believe it. Do you believe it? People that are hunched over with Parkinson's stood up straight? I don't know. Do you believe that?
Um, that would be wonderful, wouldn't it?
It sounds too good.
It does.
In just 6 months?
Well, I mean, and the funny thing that once they stop taking the stuff, they degrade that quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to allow, I guess, when phase three, the new phase three starts, they'll probably allow those who participated in the previous trial to take the drug.
Well, look,
Whether
if it leaves your system that quickly,
well, also there were three cohorts in the trial, weren't there? There was a 10 milligram, 20 milligram, and placebo, and the only one that worked at all was a 20 milligram
I see.
dosage. So the new trial will have only 20 milligrams, I suppose. I
I
think
see.
I think the odds very much favor a new trial, and either it's a partner or, like you say, Pfizer will take it over.
Yeah, somebody should step up
Yeah.
if it's this promising.
What do you think it's worth? Somebody was it Lilly that paid $4 billion recently for a company? What
Right.
What do you think this is worth?
Well, let's see. I mean, like I said, I'm going to use grounding of the fact that at some point in time, people were willing to pay $125 a share for it.
Do you think it's worth that on a takeover
So
bid?
then what would that do? That would be almost a tenfold. If we end up going back to those numbers, but somebody
Well,
had to be at that time. Somebody had to be justifying those costs.
right now it's about 150 million market cap. So if you do
Uh,
10,
150.
yeah, if it goes to 150, you'll have 1.5 billion. I think that's worth it.
Wow, I thought that's a pretty low market cap. How are they even keeping the lights on?
I don't know. I guess they have to raise money every time there's an expenditure. There were only two people in the company at first. Now I think there's six. They hired four people just the other day.
Wow.
Maybe there's
Oh,
a few more people in the company.
and
Somebody to
hopefully they have lightning in a bottle.
yeah. What is my Mantis? Mantis knows a lot about this stuff. And Parkinson's
Yeah, no,
market.
he was really big on this one for the longest time. Like I said, it was his enthusiasm which kept me in it.
Yeah, I mean, we're spending the whole show talking about it, but so what?
Yeah.
You want to
Well,
read this?
we talk about the S&P.
We'll get around to it. You want to read
I
this?
don't even know if it's worth talking about Bitcoin right now. It's been doldrums in terms of news.
Bitcoin will break out of it. I'm not worried. You know what Saylor said? 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. In other words, don't fret. If it goes down
Interesting.
20 to the dollar, it's still 1 Bitcoin, still equals 1 Bitcoin. Essentially, that's what he meant. In Parkinson's market there are only dopaminergic options, which are symptomatic, and fades
Right.
after 9 months. Anvs has disease-modifying effect and symptomatic. It was given on top of levodopa.
Okay.
That's very interesting, Mantis. Do you have a relative with Parkinson's, Mantis? Or any progressive neurological disease like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's?
Remember, Mantis also like Novavax for the longest time.
I know that didn't work out too well.
No, I know. I know he's got a passing interest in these pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, you want me to look at the charts a little bit?
We might as well. We still got about another 10, 15 minutes to go.
All right.
So, if you wanted to look at, actually, I did want you to look at SMCI.
SMCI, Tom Lee's favorite small cap, right? Tom Lee, the guru.
Oh, yeah.
It's his favorite.
Today it went really high up and then really low down. I was just trying to figure out what's going on.
Maybe Tom Lee is fucking around with the shares. Tom Lee is the guru of gurus right now. Professor Omar makes fun of him. I don't think you should make fun of him.
Really? Yeah, I agree. You should restrain.
I mean, just because he looks like Clark Kent or whatever it is. He's got those glasses. The S&P looks to me healthy. I said this a while ago. I don't see any reason for it to go down other than it's gone up too much.
You need some sort of catalyst.
Yeah, I mean, 550, 582, it doesn't have to get to 560, but I think it will. It's a nice round number. And I wouldn't be surprised if, it takes a while to get there. Maybe we get a little backwards and forwards action over the next 2 weeks. And it's not until August that we get that 10% pullback. It would be consistent with what somebody I know on the street told me. But it was just that person's opinion, just like my opinion.
Right.
I have no
And
insight. I have no.
Our opinions are only our
I
opinions.
mean, I have no inside information. Who has inside information as to the direction of the market? Nobody freaking knows.
No.
It's always opinion. If somebody tells you they know which way the market is going, run away quick. But you can make an educated guess, and that's really what you do. You try to get the probabilities slightly in your favor. And I think 560 is a number that you had. If like me, you had a sensational start to the year, you want to take a little off the table, it makes sense, I think. I think I'm going to do that. I haven't really totally decided. I might. I'm crazy. I'm a crazy bull. You know that.
Yes.
So I'm thinking
you do lean bullish.
610 is not out of the question in my mind. So if 560 quickly doesn't hold, even if I sold 10%, I'll buy it right back.
Right. And yeah, you do things in drips and drabs anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Look, I'm not going all out of the market. That I'm not doing. I'm not doing that. I mean, I could take more than 10% off it, possibly, if it's a downward market. But for now, 10%. That is what I'm thinking. Or buy puts, 535 puts for October.
You would buy puts on the index, not on the overall, not on individual stocks.
On the SPY and maybe the Qs as well. And okay. I wouldn't look to no spreads, just straight bet. You win it or you lose it.
I mean, let me ask you a question then. I mean, we were saying that the impact is big from NVIDIA. So are you even going to are you just going to sell a little bit of your NVIDIA or not even bother with it? You just leave it.
No, I would sell 10% of everything.
So you're going to go right across the board.
Yeah.
Not focus on specific ones.
No, because in a bear market, even in a correction, pretty much everything goes down.
Okay.
And the ones oftentimes the ones that went up the most lead it down. So
speaking of SMCI.
let me chart that for you. So look, to be honest, this chart is beautiful looking. You're in a nice channel. You're trading in the middle of the channel. It looks to me like 560 should be taken out, but it's also a number that it's okay to take a little off the table. It gives you an excuse.
I'm decreasing the slope of that top end a little bit.
Yeah.
To pick up the other extremes.
Press this back. I look at it this way. It gives you an excuse to take a little off the table.
Understood.
That's how.
Understood.
I'm not wildly bearish like Professor Omar. I mean, at some point I might be, but not yet.
Understood.
After 610, after SPY 610, I might get more bearish. Even now, I'm not. Even now, I'm not bearish. I think if it's 560, you get 10%. That brings you down to 504. That's not the end of the world. You know? SMCI before I forget.
Okay.
I think this is a Tom Lee favorite. It's actually in the small cap in the Russell, isn't it? Did they move over to the SPX yet? I'm not sure.
I don't know about this one where it is.
I think it's what it was the number one weighted stock in the IWM
Really,
at one time. I don't know now. I'm not sure.
certainly got uh, a very predictable bottom.
Very nice. Is this a trend line or is
You
this?
already, you already have that. You already have that red line there, whatever that is.
I think that's a trend line.
Okay, yeah,
It's trading above that trend line and it's flirting with the 100. It's having a little trouble with the 100. Takes out the 100. I think it will challenge the 1,000 too. So I think before this little, you could see 100 points easily before we get the correction on SMCI. Very bullish. The chart looks very nice. And the fundamentals are great. You know, it has it all. We want to look at Bitcoin, right?
sure.
Okay, let's look at Bitcoin. I made it too big. We may have bottomed. That's a beautiful candle five trading days ago, isn't it?
Yes.
It's all bottom wick. I like that, and it looks like we're making higher lows, and the key is taking out the 200. The 200 is resistance, 58.9. Take that out, I think we shoot right up to the 64.9. That Bitcoin, I'm not panicking on Bitcoin. I'm not as wildly bullish as I was maybe because of the recent price action, but I'm not panicking. That's my feeling on Bitcoin. To me, it's a hold. I'm not adding, but I'm not panicking. I did add a little last week, but I'm not adding this week. I'm done for a while. Adding. I actually bought the coin, and through Coinbase.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I figured just for the hell of it. It's annoying. I still didn't figure out the wallet. I somehow bought it. I don't know how. I went through all their steps and I bought it.
Uh-huh. So
They
you own one just to own it.
I don't own a Bitcoin because there's something called plaid. I wanted to buy X amount, much more than what I bought, but I didn't know what I was doing. And they said that I could set up a transfer with my bank account using plaid, PLAID. I filled out a million things, and it's hard with the Parkinson's to fill in a million things. And I did a transfer. They said the max I can take out of my checking is 3,000 for any given day. So I bought $3,000 worth of Bitcoin, which came to something like 0.05 Bitcoin.
Oh, okay. Like Venmo offers you the opportunity to take some of your money, and it's not really buying a coin. It's just that they'll hold it under that, that valuation.
So does PayPal, right?
Yeah, PayPal, same thing.
Yeah.
So I did that a couple of years ago, but I did it at a bad time.
Doesn't Venmo or PayPal owns Venmo, no?
Yes, PayPal owns Venmo.
Yeah. So let's see if we can go back a little further and see if this looks like anything significant, this little pattern that's developing. Let's look at the zoom a little bit. Look at the 50,000 level, right around there, 50,500 or whatever it is. Got a lot of support underneath where we're trading. So I'm not too worried. I mean, I think 50,000 is good. Good as gold. So how is gold?
Gold is still holding its own. It's about like 2,300.
I'm making money on my recent purchases of NEM and gold, GOLD.
And how are you doing on TLT? I think TLT is sort of back to 90 again.
I'm making money because I bought kind of heavily at at 90. So it's a little bit. I think it's a little bit higher.
Well, I mean, again, after what Powell said, we have to think that these lower interest rates, will show up eventually.
Well, Newmont had a little blip down today, but
Of
I don't know what I bought it at, but I know I like what I see when I look at my balance on it.
Gotcha.
So I'm doing good on Newmont. I'm doing good on Barrick Gold. FCX, I'm about even. So I'm doing okay with the metals. Wanted to look at the chart on Novus.
Oh yeah, might as well.
We are chartists, right? So
Yes.
maybe it'll tell us something. Doesn't tell me much. It tells me we got resistance up around 1750. Tells me we got resistance up around 20. And then 22, I think, was a high going back
Right.
further.
And I
So
guess we shouldn't be shocked if it hits 10 again.
what I see is extreme volatility. My golden rule: look for the middle of the green candle.
Yeah, indeed.
1336, something like that. So that's where I'd be a buyer, or if I wanted to add, if I want to add, I'm not sure I want to add, but if I
Well,
want to,
you already got some, right?
I already have a vested interest. I have some, yeah. I have a vested interest due to the disease I have. So
Right.
that's enough for me, but I might buy more. I might buy more. Right about that 1338 mark. Looks like a fair price to me. It hit almost that today, right? Yeah,
Almost, yeah.
yeah. I think it was down sharply in the morning and trading was halted. It came back and then it finished down.
Yeah, at one point, like you said, it was up to 17 at some point early this morning.
Didn't I text you? I got excited. It was over
Yeah,
7.
yeah, no, I was excited as well.
Yeah, for a brief moment, I got excited.
But let's assume that that's a possible place where this path can take us.
So my feeling is, if you want to take some off the table, $20. If you want to add a little, 1338.
You just take that. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's up, whatever your flavor is, right? How about Sava? Do you think Biden has Parkinson's?
I do not.
You don't.
No, it just seems too easy. I think he's just got old age.
Maybe, but they did have an MD, motion
Yeah, I
disease.
know. But they also have a big staff that needs help. Which is
The active duty military don't have Parkinson's. I'm sorry. They don't need a Parkinson's specialist coming around. That don't make sense.
but even at the Joint Chiefs of Staff.
That's possible. Yeah, I see your point. Higher up, yeah. But there aren't too many, elder statesmen besides Biden. Look, I think he has Parkinson's, but early stage.
Right. Not that shouldn't really make a difference in terms of his governing ability anyway.
No, look. I mean, I mix up things occasionally. I don't know if it's because of Parkinson's or just old age, but I'm very bad, like getting mixed up between millions, billions, and trillions sometimes.
You and every other American.
Yeah, is that it? Maybe. Sava had a nice green candle today. I like that. I like that.
But it's a very it's a those last couple this last week is a very interesting looking week.
I think it's coming off the bottom here. It's my rule about the middle of the green candle. There's also a rule about the middle of the red candle. I think it makes it back to 16.
Okay.
Short-term target.
Yeah, I jumped back in a little bit because I figured let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
I don't know why it's not letting me. It doesn't let me. Doesn't let me draw that straight line. I got to draw it and move it down.
Uh,
And then I got to move it down to where I want it. Right about there, 16 and change.
Okay.
I think if you want to speculate without keeping it, just a short-term play, buy now, sell at 16.
Yeah. Again, I've owned this one. I've owned this one in the hundreds also.
Yeah, I sold it in the hundreds. So did you. You sold it.
Yeah, I sold some. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's everything I wanted to cover.
Yeah. No, we have a half hour in, so I think we're good.
All right. We did good. Did our boy Kamal show up?
I don't know.
No, he didn't show up.
All right. So if we want to go later in the week, otherwise we'll next week. Either way.
Oh, the only stock Mantis owns is Innovis.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He's willing to be our Innovis resource. Thank you, Mantis. Anytime we want to know something, instead of
Yeah, we
calling
appreciate that. Definitely.
Maria, I'll call Mantis.
Exactly. We get more reliable information.
I'm sure it's more elaborate information. Adios, amigos. Ciao. Good
Adios, everybody. Bye
trading.
bye.
Ciao.